Hey guys, what's up? WrestleRyan521 here to bring back another video, and today I'm going to be doing my different video. I'm doing my review of Star Wars The Force Awakens, or Star Wars Episode 7 The Force Awakens. This is going to be a completely spoiler video. I'm just going to give you my spoilery thoughts on everything and all things Star Wars from this movie, and yeah, so if you haven't seen the movie, I suggest you don't watch this, but I've been known to ramble on in reviews for TV show episodes and whatnot, so I'm going to try and keep this video down to between 5 and 10 minutes, so let's just kind of go through everything really quickly. First of all, I just want to start off with the cast. Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Adam Driver, they all did a phenomenal job, as Rey, Finn, Kylo Ren, and Poe. They were just all incredible. Poe's character I thought was really cool, even though he wasn't in it for very much. He was kind of like this cool, cocky, kind of had like a Han Solo-ish attitude. Finn kind of also reminded me of Han Solo, in the sense that he's kind of like, I don't know, he's just kind of like the Han Solo, I guess, in these new movies. And then you have Rey, who's obviously like the, the new Luke of these movies. And then, you have, what's the name? Adam Driver playing Kylo Ren, who does a phenomenal job at playing an epic bad guy. So for the first whole segment of this movie, I thought was great. The scenes on Jakku. So we start off as, we've got Rey, who's, just kind of, she's like this, well, actually, here, before I get to that, let's start with the first scene. I mean, obviously, you've got Poe's droid, getting the plans to the Starkiller base, or actually, no, the plans, I think, to the, also to where Luke is, I think, too. So yeah, he's got the plans to the location of Luke, and the First Order's trying to get it, and he's giving it to BB-8, because the First Order's, like, invading this whole place and slaughtering all the people looking for it, and then, Kylo Ren captures him, and then him and Finn, a stormtrooper that doesn't want to be part of the First Order, they escape in a TIE fighter, which crashes down in Jakku. So they later on meet up with, Poe actually doesn't meet, but Finn, you're believed to think that Poe died in that scene, but then Finn kind of starts wandering on, and then Rey meets up with BB-8 later on, and BB-8 has the plans to find Luke Skywalker, so when Finn finds her, she tells him about it, and they become allies, and then the First Order attacks. You've got them escaping to a ship, and I love this scene right here, in particular when they're looking for a ship, and they're like, which one should we pick, and they're like, let's pick that one, the other one's garbage, and then, as soon as she said garbage, I'm like, I think I know what ship that is. I think that's the Millennium Falcon. And sure enough, when the other ship explodes, they go to it, and it's the Millennium Falcon. We get to see some sweet, swooping shots and whatnot of the Falcon, flying over Jakku, battling some TIE fighters, and just an all-on dogfight. This was an incredible action sequence. Definitely one of my favorite of the movie. The action sequences in this movie were just phenomenal. Like, seriously, some of the best. Sorry, I have like so much to say about this movie. I'm like trying to condense it all in a short video, but I'm like talking really fast because there's just so much I have to say. So we got that, and then we have, the second act kind of like, on the planet. I don't exactly know what the planet is, but it's, on Maz Kanata's little home, in the cantina type of area. But you got them meeting up with Han Solo, Han Solo and Chewie, you got the Chewie, we're home, that line. There's the escape, the tentacle thing, whatever that was. They arrive down on this planet, Han Solo gets some cool lines between him and Rey, like asking her to, kind of be like the crew member on the Falcon. But after that, as the First Order attacks that place, and then you've got some X-Wings coming in, and oh, sorry, that was my phone vibrating. You've got some X-Wings coming in, and you could just another all-on, huge space, well, not really space, but like an atmosphere, I guess you could say, battle, because it's kind of like a space battle happening in the sky. So just kind of like a bunch of, there's a dogfight kind of happening right now. And then you got all the stormtroopers. You got Finn battling the stormtrooper with the electric staff, which is amazing. And then let's see, you've got Han, Finn, and Rey, or Han, Finn, and Chewie. Sorry, not Rey. Rey actually ends up getting captured by what's his name, Kylo Ren in this scene. Got Han, Finn, and and God, why can't I Chewie? I keep forgetting Chewbacca's name for some reason. So we got, you know, all of them there when the First Order, or when the Resistance arrives, and then we've got that really touching scene between Han and Leia, which I thought was really cool. You know, I just think that's, you know, just to see them back together, I just think it's really neat. And then, you know, we've got, you know, they're kind of the whole briefing, you know, on whatever planet it was. I can't think of the planet from the end, or where they might have been on a ship too. I can't really remember. But basically, yeah, so they got the whole briefing, kind of like the Yavin 4 briefing. One thing I really love about this movie is how it's very reminiscent of Episode 4, and people complain about that, but I think they're doing that, well, obviously, they're doing that to appeal, like, to kind of, you know, remake this film so younger generations, you know, to, like, pull in the younger generation of it, you know? They're not really doing a whole new story. I mean, they are, but they're kind of, like, you know, rehashing some ideas, which I have no problem with, because, like I said, they're trying to, like, pull in the new generation, which I just think is great, especially with, you know, the next 2 films and then the anthology trilogy. So that should all be great. But yeah, after that, we've got, you know, the Han, Finn, or we got Han saying, you know, like, goodbye to Leia or whatever, you know, like, you've got that scene where, you know, they're hugging that we saw in the trailer. So, you know, we've got Han, Finn, and Chewie all going down on Jakku. They're going down to the Starkiller base to try and deactivate the shields, which they do. They help Captain Phasma. They get the help from Captain Phasma, you know. And that's another thing I didn't like. Captain Phasma was way too underused in this movie. That is probably the only thing that I would say I don't like about this movie, is the fact that Captain Phasma was way too underused. But I can certainly look past that, considering we have 2 more movies, and she's probably going to be in them. Or at least one of them. I mean, I'm certain they're going to use her more. But just in this movie, she didn't really do anything, and that just kind of bummed me out. Especially since I painted a minifigure of her. You know, I did a custom painted figure of her because I thought she was going to be one of the coolest characters in the movie, and she ultimately didn't really do anything, which I just kind of find sad. But like I said, they'll probably use her more to her extent in the next movie. But after that, we've got, if you're watching this and you don't care about spoilers, this is the biggest spoiler I'm going to drop in this entire video. In this scene, well, first of all, earlier on we found out that Kylo Ren was Han and Leia's son. So we've got Han, you know, going on the Starkiller base. He sees him, you know, he calls him Ben. And he's like, Han Solo, you know, and they kind of have a talk. And he's like, you know, this isn't my son, you know, you can still, you know, turn back, come home with me, and we'll, you know, and you can find your way, or something along those lines. And you've got the whole crew watching, you know, Finn, Rey, and because they saved Rey at this point. You got, you know, Finn, Rey, and Chewie all watching on, and I knew this was coming. This was shocking. I gotta tell you. We've got the scene where he's giving him his lightsaber, and Kylo Ren. I knew this was coming before it even, like, minutes before it even happened. Activates it, stabs Han Solo in the chest, deactivates it, and Han Solo just falls down this chasm and dies. And that was just, oh god, that was just a punch to the gut for me, man. That was, god, I still can't believe Han Solo is dead. It's just crazy. But Harrison Ford put in a great performance in this movie, one that I won't soon forget. Definitely not. So after that scene, we've got the big action scene kind of at the end of the movie. We've got, you know, the lightsaber fight, and, you know, in the snowy woods, like we saw in the first teaser. Between Kylo Ren and Finn, who Finn ultimately almost dies. And we've got, you know, Rey stepping in with, like, Luke's lightsaber. You know, we've got her throwing down with Kylo Ren, which she almost kills him, actually. During that scene, I was kind of wondering, she was kind of doing, like, the Luke thing from Return of the Jedi. She was, like, so close to, like, you know, almost turning to the dark side. Like, if the Emperor was there, you know, it would have almost been reminiscent of, or some sort of, like, if Snoke was there, because Snoke is kind of like the new Emperor in this movie. If Supreme Leader Snoke was there, it would have been really reminiscent of the fight between Luke and Vader in Episode 6, which is one of my favorite Star Wars scenes of all time. But yeah, so that was a good scene, and of course, as you know, kind of like, you know, the ground just kind of like breaks apart, and she doesn't have the chance to kill him, you know, and Snoke's like, you know, bring Kylo Ren back to me, I need to complete his training. So we're believed to think that, you know, Kylo Ren and Captain Phasma and all the main guys, except for maybe not General Hux, but I like them, but the 2 main bad guys, or 3, I guess, if you count, Snoke, but we're believed to think that they escaped, and I'm sure they probably did, to be in the next movie, and probably Episode 9 too. But yeah, And then, you know, we got the scene at the end with, you know, Leia and Rey hugging, you know, because they know that, because they know, Leia knows just by the look on Rey's face that Han's dead. And it was kind of sad that his body fell down that chasm too, you know, because they can't even really have a proper funeral for him too. But then, as you know, we've got the final scene with Rey going to see Luke. You know, we've got her holding out her lightsaber to the bearded Luke, and that scene was very powerful. My dad even told me, like, he's not like usually like you know, not usually like this. He was like, dude, I was like actually like tearing up a little bit, or I was actually like, you know, like almost like on the brink of, like, that was just really sad. It was kind of an emotional scene, and I agree, because I mean, you gotta think, I mean, my dad grew up watching the original Star Wars. He saw it multiple times in theaters in 1977, and it's like, just to see like all these characters back, I mean, God, it must have been more of an emotional ride for him than it was for me. But yeah, so that final scene I think was just executed perfectly. I think this entire movie was executed perfectly, guys. This is easily my favorite movie of 2015, and I'm honestly debating right now. It's not going to be my number one, because I'm going to be doing I'm going to be ranking all 7 Star Wars movies in a video soon. It's not going to be number one, but I'm honestly debating. I know it's going to be, I'm debating if it's going to be number 2 or number 3. Like, honestly, that's how good I think it was. I think it stomps out a bunch of the previous movies. I don't know, but I don't know if it'll, I don't know if it can stomp out my number 2 pick, but I'm seriously debating it. Like, because seriously, this movie was just that good. Like, J.J. Abrams did it. He revived Star Wars. He brought it back. This phenomenal cast is doing just did a great job. You know, and then just like Han's death, I think, was handled perfectly, you know, and then Chewie's yell, you know, just really sadly kind of complimented that scene, you know, and you just really feel for him. You know, so that was all sad and everything. But yeah, this was, I mean, like I said, Star Wars is back, and I don't think it's going anywhere soon. Star Wars is gonna dominate the world, honestly, because this was an incredible movie and easily my favorite of 2015. So let me know what you guys thought of the movie down in the comments, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye. May the Force be with you.